3 minutes to go. If you have any questions, maybe you can ask right now. Of course, you can ask questions throughout the lectures, okay? And just curious, how is your lab today on chapter 12?
The lab is very good, thanks.
Thank you, Leandro, again. Really love your participation. Any other students you want to share your lab experiences? The lab is helpful, or what works well, what area need to improve upon?
I prefer the assignment because like you were able to get like an extra chance if you messed up, like just made like a silly mistake or whatever. But yeah, I prefer the assignment over the quizzes.
It is Hamza. Thank you. Yeah. Just remember you need to maybe practice more on your own, prepared for lab, prepared for lectures, okay? This course need a lot of time, lots of practice after the lecture, after the lab, okay? Make sure you go over the examples in the lectures, the questions from the lab, okay? And make sure you can completely, independently finish these questions on your own without looking at the solutions, okay? If you reach this level, then you do the quiz, okay? That is the sequence, okay? Are there any questions? We have 1 minute. Anything? I know you are very tired after 2 hours.
No questions for me at the time, at least.
Thank you again, Xander. Any questions, anything? All right, it is time now. I want to respect your time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to Math 2P75. Hope everybody is enjoying the beautiful weather and everyone is staying safe, okay? So today, we are going to go over chapter 13. Use my pen. It is annuity skill, deferred annuities, and perpetuities. You are encouraged to ask questions during my lecture. Stop me at any time. You can type in your question on chat area. I'm using 2 computers. Monitor my chat area. Or you can directly speak up, okay, by starting excuse me, so that I know you have questions. I will stop and let you to raise your questions, okay? So far, this is the 3rd chapter for annuities. Remember, chapter 11 is about ordinary simple annuities, and chapter 12, we talked about general annuities. So both chapter 11 and chapter 12, the payment is made at the end. So chapter 11, chapter 12. If the payment is made at the end, that is chapter 11 and chapter 12. Okay, that is ordinary annuities. Just organize my textbook. So if it is end, it is ordinary annuities. And on your calculator, when you do chapter 11, chapter 12, make sure your calculator is at the end mode. So today, we are going to introduce annuities due. This due means the payment is made at the beginning of the period. For example, on the first day of each month, you pay your rent. So the beginning of each month, the monthly payment for your rent, that is annuities due. Okay, because it has keyword due, we call annuities due. Without keyword due, it is just ordinary annuities. Sorry for my little doggy. So this is annuity due. Deferred annuities. Deferred means the annuities do not start until a certain time period. For example, the annuity only start 2 years from today. So that is deferred annuities. Okay. For example, after 2 years, you're planning to buy a car. You want to save money now. Okay, you put some money in your bank, but after 2 years, when you buy a car, you apply for the loan. You make regular payment. That is deferred annuities. You don't make payment until after 2 years. And the perpetuities. It is a kind of annuities that goes forever. For example, the scholarship at university, we offer scholarship every year, okay, year after year after year after year, forever. That is perpetuities. Okay. So this is the overview of what we are going to learn for chapter 13. Okay. Any questions on the roadmap for today's lecture? So the objectives is to, actually there are 5 important items on your calculator. One is term N, and then interest IY, present value, payment, and future value. So our objectives is to calculate term N, calculate interest, calculate present value, calculate PMT, calculate future value under different scenarios. The first scenario is for simple annuities due. Okay, remember what does the keyword simple means? The keyword simple means payment per year, PY, equal to interest conversion period per year, CY. When you have PY equal to CY, that is simple. Okay, and we already know what is due. The keyword due means began. Payment is made at the beginning of period. Okay. So again, we are going to calculate the term N, interest IY, present value PV, PMTFV for situation general annuities. Okay, general annuities. The keyword general. General means number of payment per year, PY, not equal to number of interest conversion period per year. That is general. Okay. And then we are going to have situation, ordinary deferred annuities. Okay. So what is the keyword ordinary mean? Keyword ordinary means the payment is made at the end. Payment made at the end. Deferred means you don't make payment until, for example, 5 months or after 3 years. That is deferred annuities. Okay. So finally, we will talk about the perpetuities, situation for perpetuity. So this is the overview of today's lecture. Now let's look at how do I calculate the future value for simple annuity due. Again, what is simple means? Simple means PY equal to CY. What does the due mean? Due means payment is made at the beginning. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, future value equal to PMT times this bracket times 1 plus I. Why we need times to 1 plus I? Because it is made at the beginning. So you use chapter 12 or chapter 11 knowledge. Multiply this 1 plus I, you get annuities due, adjustment for payment at the beginning of period. Okay. So this is the formula. Now let's look at the example. This example, I'm going to use two methods. One, formula method. Two, calculator method. Okay. This example asks you to calculate the future value of 100 payment at 6% compounded annually, made at the beginning of the year for 4 years. Okay, so ask you to, because of the keyword beginning, so this is annuity due problem. Beginning means due. And we use the formula for future value. Okay. PMT is 100. Interest rate I, 6% or 0.06. Term N is 4 years. Okay, and this is your result. Again, when you go home, make sure treat this example as exercise or as a quiz question. Can you come up? Just read this question here. Just read this question. Can you come up with this result? If you're stuck, you can look over the solutions. But after looking the solution, redo this question again until you can come up with this number independently without looking at the solution. You have to achieve this level before you tackle the quiz. Okay. So any questions so far? So now I'm going to use calculator method. Can anyone see my calculator just to confirm? Anyone, can you type in the chat area, confirm you can see my computer?
I can see it.
Thank you, Leander, again. Great. So, oh, by the way, some students ask, how do I change the decimal places? Right now, I have 2 decimal places. If you want 4 decimal places, or 6 decimal places, or 5 decimal places, you do this. Second, began. This PMT function is also began function, okay? Or not second began, sorry. So you should, to change decimal places, you do second format. Where is the format? Second, second format here, this button here, this dot is format, second format. And then you see I have DEC means decimal places 2. If you want to change to 4, you type in number 4 here. And then press Enter key. Okay. After that, second, quit. See, it becomes 4 digits. Okay. So now let's analyze this question. This question, when you use calculator, first of all, this is began. Okay, my computer is already began. You may not have began, so I'm going to return back, second began, second set, second quit. Your computer may be here. You do not have began on top right corner. So what do? You do this. If I were you, I will write down the steps. The steps is second began, second set, second quit. See, you have BGN mode on top right corner. Okay, why I need BGN? Because payment is made at the beginning. This is annuity due. You have to set up your computer to begin mode. After you set up your computer to begin mode, next you set up PY. Remember what is PY? PY represents in 1 year how many payments you make. 1 year you just make 1 payment, right? So PY is 1, so you click second PY, type in 1, enter. Down arrow key, you get CY. CY represents number of conversion period per year for interest. So interest is compounded annually, means CY equal to 1, that's correct. And then second quit. Okay. Now you're ready to enter the number after you set began mode, after you type in PY and CY. Okay. And there is no sequence for entering numbers. I usually follow the sequence. The number appeared on the questions. So for example, the first question I see is 100. So I type in 100. This is payment. Usually it is negative number. So you have to click positive, negative sign here. And then click PMT. Okay. And the second number I see is 6%. So you type in 6. When you use calculator, no percent, just type in the number. 6 is interest, IY. Okay. And then 4 year term is 4. So 4 is N. Okay. So far, I entered 3 numbers. Always remember you need to enter 4 numbers. You have to enter 4 numbers. So the first number I need to enter is 0 PV as precaution to clear any previous entries. So now I enter the 4 items. The last item I need to calculate is future value. So I press compute FV. See, I get exactly the same number as the formula. Did you see here? Okay. So again, try to look at the question, use your calculator. Can you get this answer independently? This is the question. If not, you need to study this example again and again and again until you can get the result by formula or get the result by calculator. During the quiz or during final exam, I do not force you to use calculator or formula or Excel. You use whatever method you are comfortable with. Most students will find calculator is convenient, is fast, okay? Some people prefer formula, some people prefer Excel. It is a personal preference, okay? So any questions for this one? If you can do this question asks you the future value. You can do actually any questions asked here at the beginning. Remember at the beginning, if the example we did is future value. If you can do the future value, you can do the payment, PV, IYN. They are exactly the same procedure using calculator. The calculator, the procedure similar. Okay, the procedure similar. And when you use formula, you just plug in different formulas. Okay, so the rest of the cost content, we all dealing with these 5 items started chapter 11. Okay, these 5 items. Remember, when you use calculator, you need to enter 4 items. There are 5 items here. You need to enter 4 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to enter 4 items in order to calculate the 5th one. Okay. So any questions? Where the decimal is? Thank you. What do you mean where the decimal is? About. Oh, when you use calculator, maybe, okay, you have to read instructions carefully. This is the one you lose mark using MyLab, okay? Usually when you're dealing with the dollar problem, you keep 2 decimal places. So the calculator should be $463.71. Okay. It wasn't a question, it was for format. Oh, okay. Thank you. It was, where is the decimal? Okay, I will repeat. Okay. How do you set up decimal? Is that your question, Haba? How do you set up decimals? Is that your question? I just want to make sure I understand your question. Can you say yes or no? Is that your question? Okay, I assume you are asking. Okay, great. Sure. How do you set up decimal places on calculator? Thank you so much for asking that question because it is important. Okay, so right now I have 4 decimals. If I want to set 6 decimals, what do? You do this. Second, quick second. Second, then format. You see this dot button? On the center bottom, you have this dot, means format. So second, format. And then if you want 6 decimal, you type in number 6. And then quick enter button. Last step, second, quit. Now you have 6 decimals. Okay? So let's do it fast again. I don't want 6 decimal. I want maybe 4 decimals. Okay. I repeat myself. Second, format. I want 4 decimal. Type in number 4. Enter. Second, quit. Now it becomes 4 decimals. Okay. Thank you so much for asking that question. All right. This is the future value. Now the next question. The same question. The second question, how much interest is earned? Okay, so this is original question. Now the question asks you how much interest is earned. Okay, how do you calculate interest? Okay. So remember, you make a 4 payment. Each time you make $1,100. So 4 payment is $400. We already know the future value of the simple annuity is this one. We did the formula and calculator this number. So the difference is just the interest. Okay. Again, any questions you can type in the chat area or you directly speak up. Okay, I monitor my chat area. So, so far we did an example for future value. Future value. If you rearrange the formula a little bit, you get the formula for PMT, payment. Okay, you get the PMT formula. And then if the question asks you for term n, again, you rearrange the formula, do a little bit algebra, you get this formula for term n. Okay. However, there is no formula for I. For those students, if you are 100% rely on formula, I'm so sorry for you. There is no formula for I, for interest. Okay. You can use calculator to enter the interest I, or you can use Excel. Okay, how do you use Excel? The procedure for using Excel to calculate interest is the same as in chapter 11, chapter 12. I provided a lot of examples, so please revisit chapter 11, chapter 12 to see how do I calculate interest on Excel. Okay, this lecture I will only dealing with formula and calculator because of the time limitation. All right. So now the formula for what is the present value? What is the present value for what? For simple annuities due. Remember what is due mean? Due means payment is made at the beginning. What is simple mean? Simple means PY equal to CY. And this is the formula. Okay. So now let's look at the example. Calculate the present value of payment 2,000, each made at the beginning of every 6 months for 3 years, if money is worth 6% compounded semi-annually. So let's look at the keyword. This is beginning, means this is annuity due. Interest is compounded semi-annually, means CY equal to 2. Payment is made every 6 months, means 1 year you make 2 payments, PY equal to 2. So here you have CY equal to PY, that's why it is simple. Okay, and what is the question ask you? The question asks you what is the present value? That is the question. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 methods. 1, formula. 2, calculator. Okay, so this is original question is listed here. This is original question. So when you use present value formula, this is the formula. So obviously, this 2,000 is PMT. Okay, term N equal to 6. Why it is 6? Because it is 3 years. 1 year you make 2 payments. 3 years you make 6 payments. And the interest is 6% compounded semi-annually. So interest I equal to 6% divided by 2, 3% or 0.03. Okay, and you have every number in this formula, you can calculate the present value. Okay, any questions? All right, so calculator method. Again, when you go home, don't look at the solution. Can you get this number by just looking at the original question? If no, you look at the solution. If yes, great job. Okay, and make sure you also use calculator method. Okay, to have extra tool available. All right, so I'm going to erase this. I need some space. For calculator, remember before you enter any numbers, you need to do setup. The first important setup, you need to distinguish Is this begin mode or end mode? See the keyword beginning. You have to set up your computer to begin mode. Okay, so I already have begin mode. Okay, and then second setup, typing PY and CY. Okay, so second PY equal to 2, because 1 year you make 2 payments. Enter. Down arrow key, CY. CY is interest, compounded semi-annually. CY is also 2. Okay, so you don't change anything. So just second quit. Only after you do the proper setup, then you enter the numbers. The first number I see 2000. This is PMT. It interpret to negative numbers, negative PMT. Okay, and then 3 year has 6 payments. Term N is 6. 6 is N. And what is the interest? You use this one. Interest is also 6%. Okay. So 6 is the interest. I entered 3 numbers, but I need to enter 4 numbers. Can anyone remind me what is the 4th number I need to enter? Can anyone directly speak up or type in the chat area? When you use calculator, you must enter 4 numbers. Right now, I entered 3 numbers. Humble, thank you. FV equal to 0. So 0, FV. Thank you, Humble. Great. Sum up. Yes. So now you enter the 4 numbers. The last step, you compute present value. See, you get the same result. $11,159.41. Again, when you go home, you don't jump into the quiz. You just do the questions we did in the lecture. After you finish question in the lecture, you go to the textbook example questions. Why I strongly suggest examples? Because when you're stuck, you have detailed solutions. Okay? So this example we did annuity due present value problem. Okay. Any questions? Okay, next. Again, solving N and I, you have to depend heavily on the calculator. Okay, it is a similar steps, very similar steps. Okay, you need to enter 4 numbers. Then you count the final step, you compute term N. Final step, you compute interest. And make sure when you, the calculator is the begin mode, because you want to calculate the due problem. Okay. So that is session 1, simple annuities due. Simple annuities due. Next, session 2 of chapter 13, general annuities due. Now, I have question for everyone. Can anyone explain what does this DUE due mean? You can speak up or you can type in chat area. What does this DUE due? I'm waiting for response. What does the keyword due mean?
It means like what's going to be the future value that you're looking for.
Not quite. What does the DUE do? Thank you. Good try. The end. Anyone? Due pay at the beginning of month. Wow, brilliant. Teresa, thank you so much. Payments at the beginning. Hamza, when you pay, good try. When you pay, that's, yeah, when you do something due. But in this financial mathematical context, the due means payment are made at the beginning. Everybody look at the chart area, Teresa, payments are at the beginning. Due, Humble also typing the correct one. Due means pay at the beginning of the period. Fantastic. Okay, great, thumbs up. Now, second question. What does this general mean? General. Again, please type in your response in chat area, or if you brave enough, speak up. What does the general mean? Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Okay, you can guess. This general is not General Brock, General Isaac Brock. Wow, Teresa. Wow, fabulous. General means PY not equal to CY. Fantastic. Woohoo. Humble, thank you, Humble. Payment is not the same as interest rate. Yeah, conversion period. PY not equal to CY. Excellent. Okay. So this is the one we are going to do. So far, the examples we see, those examples, PY equal to CY. This example, PY equal to CY. PY equal to CY. Now we are going to tackle questions when PY not equal to CY. There is a terminology for PY not equal to CY. General. General. Okay. All right. So when PY not equal to CY, this is a brand new, a fresh new concept. We never see this concept before in chapter 11, chapter 12. Okay, this is brand new concept. Okay, listen up. Okay, and this concept only when PY not equal to CY. When PY not equal to CY, what do you do? Everyone, you need to calculate C first. What is C? C equal to number of payment per year, PY, divided by number of interest conversion period per year, CY. So PY over CY, that is C, means what is the number of payment per interest conversion period. Payment rate is not the same as interest rate, other way around, right? Upside down. The number of interest. Aha, Winnie, you have sharp eyes. I just want to wake everybody up. Wrong. If everybody look at the chart area, so what is the correct one? The correct one is number of conversion period per year over number of payment per year. That is C. You are paying attention, Winnie. Great. And also Humble found the same question. It said the other way around, I think maybe refer to here. Okay, so letter C equal to number of interest conversion period over number of payment per year. The meaning of letter C is over one payment period, how many interest conversion period? Number of interest conversion period per payment. Okay, so this is letter C. Once you get letter C, this guy here, letter P. P equal to 1 plus I raised to power C minus 1. And P is the equivalent rate per payment period. I repeat, what is P? Equivalent rate of interest per payment period. What is difference between C and P? C represent number of interest conversion periods per payment interval, and P refer to equivalent rate of interest per payment period. Okay, this is crucial. This is I can't emphasize how important this one here. Okay, this formula is. When you have the general, it really depends on this formula here. When you have PY not equal to CY, you need to calculate equivalent rate of interest per payment period, P. And this P is the equivalent of what we did I here, okay? If you see this I, you plug in P, that is general. Okay. So I repeat, this concept is brand new, is the foundation for general annuities deal. Okay, equivalent rate of interest per payment period P. How do you calculate P? P equal to 1 plus I raised to power C. How do you calculate C? C equal to CY over PY. How do you calculate I? I usually is given. Okay, and this I is periodic rate. It is not annual rate, periodic rate. Okay, so now let's look at the formula for general annuities. What is the future value for general annuities due? This is the formula. You see, this formula very similar to simple annuities due, except instead, remember simple annuities due? Simple annuities due, this formula you look familiar, right? I want to show you. Future value. You see this formula here? Okay, so instead of using I, they use P. Okay, so let's go where we are. Okay, it is here. You see, instead of I, they use P. Exactly the same formula, but instead of I, when you have general, you use P. Okay, so this future value. Again, how do you calculate PMT? This is a PMT formula. Okay, the formula for term N, use this formula. There is no formula for I. You can only rely on calculator or Excel. Okay. All right, so this is general annuities. Any questions? Exactly the same procedure. Instead of I, you need to use P. Okay. All right. So next, chapter 13, session 3, deferred annuities. Deferred annuities. So deferred annuities, it is annuity in which the first payment is made at a time later than the end of first payment intervals. So the time period from the time referred to as now to the starting point of the term of the annuity is called the period of deferment. We use letter D represent. Okay. I will give you an example to illustrate the deferred annuity, this example. Okay. Let's look at this example. Calculate the size of payment required at the end of every 6 months to repay a 6-year loan of 20,000. If payments are deferred for 2 years, and interest is 5% compounded semi-annually. I pause for a moment. You read the question first, figure out what is given, what you are asked to do. Okay, now let's use a diagram. This is the original question. Original question is here. This is an example of deferred annuities because the annuity do not start until after 2 years. So this is today. After 2 years, this part is annuity. This part is annuity happened. And the question asks you for what is the PMT for this annuity? That is the question. What is the PMT for this annuity? Okay. And so now let's analyze the 20,000. This 20,000 is the loan. So this is 20,000 here. It is the money you borrowed today. But you don't make payment immediately. You make payment after 2 years. That's why it is deferred. Okay, deferred. And now, again, question for everyone. What does this keyword ordinary mean? Can anyone tell us what does this ordinary mean?
That means that CY is not equal to PY. Or, oh shoot, no, sorry. It means it's at the end. End of a payment period.
Excellent. The end. Great. Ordinary means END end. Thank you so much for so brave. Speak up. Ordinary means end. So be careful. We go to end again. When you use calculator, you need to switch from begin to end mode. Okay. So anyway, let's analyze this question. The question asks you, what is the PMT for this annuity? The annuity happened here, right? This is annuity happened here. In order to figure out the PMT, we need to find out what is the value here. Okay, this is step 1. And this question mark, what is the money here, is just the future value for this 20,000. So what is the future value for 20,000 after 2 years? Okay, so we get this number. And this number is the present value of this annuity. Did you see it? Once you know the present value, you know the interest, you know this is 6 years, of course you can figure out PMT. Okay, so now I'm going to use 2 methods. 1, formula. 2, calculator. Okay, so first I will use a formula. So the question is, when you have 20,000 loan today, what is the money after 2 years? So what is the future value for this 20,000? This is just regular compound interest problem. Remember what is the formula? The formula is FV equal to PV 1 plus I raised to power n. Okay, you use this formula. PV is 20,000. I 5% compounded semi-annually. So I equal to 5% compounded semi-annually. So 2.5%. Okay, semi-annually. And n, term n equal to 4. Okay, n equal to 4 because interest is compounded semi-annually. So 2 years you have 4 conversion period. Okay. So use this formula, you calculate the future value. And this future value is the present value for this annuity here. This is an annuity. Okay, so this money is here. It is the present value of this annuity. And then you plug in the present value formula. You solve for PMT. Okay, and when you do the annuities here, 6 years, n equal to 12 payments, n equal to 12. Okay, interest still 2.5%. 2.5%. Okay, any questions? Okay, now I will do calculator method, and then we take a break. Okay, so calculator method. To do calculator method, there are 2 steps. I'm going to need some space for calculator. Step 1, you figure out what is the future value after 2 years. Okay, so you second quit. Again, this is ordinary, so means you have to change your calculator to end mode. Right now, I have begun BGN mode. Okay, so how do I switch back? To change it from begin to end or from end to begin, it is just like a toggle button. Okay, it is on off, on off. So you do this. Second, begin. Second, set. Second, quit. Now, the begin disappeared. When you have nothing on top right corner, that is end. That is end. Okay. So now, set up PY, second PY, PY equal to 2. Okay. Enter. Down arrow key, CY equal to 2. Correct. Second, quit. Okay. So step 1, what is the future value for this 20,000 after 2 years? Use calculator. Okay. So you use 20,000. This is the present value. Okay. During these 2 years, you do not make any payment. So 0 is PMT. Okay. Interest. Let me write on this. Interest is 5%. PMT 5 is interest. And the term N during these 2 years is 4. 4 is term N. So final step, compute FV. See, you get this number, 22,076. Okay. It is negative. You can just press this button. It becomes positive. So this number becomes present value of the annuity. So this number is a present value of the annuity. So you press present value. Okay. And for the annuity, term N equal to 12. interest rate is still 5. Okay, and then 0 is a FV. Remember, you need to enter 4 numbers. Final step, compute PMT. Okay, you get negative because this is the money you need to make payment. You want positive, you just add this button. See, exactly the same number we get here, PMT. All right. So any questions? So this is the deferred annuities, session 3 of chapter 13. Let's take a break. We have 2 more sessions, session 4 and session 5 of chapter 13. Okay, break time, 10 minutes break. I'm going to type in the chat area, come back at 7:05. Come back at 7:05. Okay, break time now. And I'm going to stop recording, and then after we come back from break, recording again to save some space. So stop recording.